So hello guys, and welcome to another episode of the 12 Days of Switchmas, and today I will be talking about Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, which is another great remake, and this released at the tail end of the Kirby 30th anniversary, which was between last year up until earlier this year, I think up until like March of this year, and the Kirby 30th anniversary was amazing. Kirby fans were feasting during that. Honestly, it was way better than the Mario 35th anniversary. Though I wouldn't say the Mario 35th anniversary was that bad. I would just say the Kirby one was a lot better, since we got a very revolutionary game with Kirby's in the Forgotten Land, since that was the first full 3D platformer Kirby game. And then we also got a fun Kirby spin-off with Kirby's Dream Buffet, which was pretty fun as well. And then at the tail end of it, we got Return to Dreamland Deluxe. And at first, it doesn't really seem like a game that needed to be remade, but looking at it more closely, you can kind of see that they did quite a lot with this remake. And it kind of makes sense that if they're bringing this game to a modern platform, that they would do a lot with it. I'm glad they did more than just a simple port of the game, because this game was seemingly made from the ground up. Unlike things like Metroid Prime Remastered, as well as like Pikmin 1+2 or Mario 3D All-Stars, it does kind of seem like this was made from the ground up, and most of the assets were recreated. Like, there's even a different art style this time as well, which I'll get into in a little bit. So it really seems like they kind of overhauled this game in quite a lot of ways. So at this point, like, kind of comparing the remake to the original, yeah, I can kind of see why they remade it. Like, it definitely ages much better now with this new art style and everything, and it looks excellent with the art style. I just really like how it looks here. It basically kind of goes for like an outline type thing around the characters, and the backgrounds are also very detailed as well. And it almost kind of resembles one of the prototypes for Return to Dreamland, or canceled versions of Return to Dreamland, that had like a pop-up book style to it, like one of the earlier games they were developing for the Wii, because Return to Dreamland went through multiple iterations before it actually ended up becoming a thing, like Kirby GCN back in 2005, and then after that they did like a 3D thing on the GameCube, and then they moved it to the Wii and did like a pop-up style game. So it seems like this remake is kind of going for a similar style to that pop-up. Not fully, because it still does have like the 3D visuals and everything, but it seems to resemble it a little bit. But another reason why it seems like some people would feel that this game doesn't need to be remade or kind of have like a spotlight on it again, because it does seem fairly basic on the surface. Like, it does kind of seem like a new Super Mario Bros.-esque game. But honestly, when you kind of dig into it a little bit, it is a much more interesting game than what it is on the surface. Like, the levels are all really fun and creative. It also has some, like a fun scenario as well with, like, Magalore and everything, who's a pretty memorable character as well. So there's quite a lot packed into Return to Dreamland. And this game is pretty important as well, since it was the first home console Kirby game, well, mainline Kirby game, since Kirby 64, back when it released. So it kind of paved the way for modern Kirby games. And while it does feel like a modern Kirby game, it also has many elements from classic Kirby games. Like, I definitely see like a lot of things reminiscent of like Kirby 64 and Kirby Superstar in this game. And it's just like excellent in general. And this remake, like, it adds like even more things as well, like on top of like kind of improving the core game in general. Like, it adds like Merry Magaland, which is basically like almost like a celebration of the series' sub-games and everything, since there's like a lot of really cool ones from throughout the series that return. My favorite one even returned from Kirby 64, Checkerboard Chase, which is really good. And you'll find a lot of other memorable ones as well. And there's even a couple new ones like Booming Blasters, and then there's like Samurai Kirby 100, where you do that against like 100 players online. But Merry Magaland is pretty fun. It is pretty cool that they added a lot of sub-games onto here. It's kind of building off of the Kirby 30th anniversary. And then they also added the masks that you can collect as well, which are also in itself a celebration of the series. Like, they're all from like different games and things, so I think that is really cool. They even threw in like a couple that are referencing the spin-offs, which is cool as well. But I really like the masks. And then there's also the Magolor Epilogue, which is really cool. You basically kind of play as Magolor, and it takes place after the ending, like when Magolor is trapped in another dimension. And you basically kind of have to rebuild his abilities and everything. And it's just really fun. Like, you kind of have a skill tree where you can kind of, well, not necessarily a skill tree, but like a thing where you can kind of upgrade each of your abilities. So it's very unique, and I really like how it's structured and everything. And you can also play it in multiplayer as well. I played it with one of my friends back when this game came out, and it was really fun. So yeah, and then finally, there's also new copy abilities as well, with Sand and Mecha copy abilities, and they're pretty fun as well. The Mecha one is pretty broken, but it is still fun to mess around with. And I think it's pretty cool that they actually went the extra mile and actually added these new copy abilities. So it's really cool that they did that. So Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is really good. My only complaint is that they didn't have online, which would have been really nice. And it's unfortunate that they didn't have it, but it's still a great remake regardless. And if you haven't played Return to Dreamland, I definitely recommend playing this. Or if you're like a Kirby fan or want to play the Kirby games in general, it's a great game. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. And make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.